It doesn't take one long to see the great damage that this disease has done in our world. Millions died and are dying worldwide. Millions unemployed as a result of the dramatic halt in the American economy. Businesses, schools, churches closed. It's summer in Michigan, and I'm used to being up and about like many of you, but the stay at home order does restrict us a little bit. As a church, we have been doing our very best to assess the situation and behave as wisely as we can. Thus, we have closed our doors and moved our services online. This to protect our vulnerable and also to ensure that no one gets this disease. But this will not be forever, and I know it's hard, but I think we can make it through. As your pastor, I have been in church all week, spending time in prayer, reading my Bible, and pleading with God for all of us, including myself. I am convinced that as a church, we cannot risk just going back to business as usual. We should strive to follow Nehemiah's example, who, after assessing the damage done in Jerusalem, took time in solitude to weep and pray for himself, his people, and his city, including his church, the temple. And I say this in good faith because I know each of you. And I know that you have been praying for me and for our church as a whole. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you personally for your prayers. But there's one more thing that I want to ask of you while we wait to get back together. Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 18 really outlines my request. Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 18, the Bible tells us, "Then I told them of the hand of my God which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, Let us rise up and build. And they strengthened their hands for this good work." You know, this verse has three things working together for Nehemiah. Well, first, he recognized the hand of God in his situation, something you and I cannot afford to miss during this time that we're apart. Second, he took note of the king's words. Nehemiah's ancestors were taken captive, you remember, around 606 BC. Around the time of Daniel, Daniel was brought to Babylon at this time, and Nehemiah would come later. But nonetheless, they weren't home in Jerusalem. They were stuck first in Babylon and then now in Persia. Jerusalem was home, but they were shut up away from their place of worship. You could say that Nehemiah had his version of a stay-at-home order. They couldn't freely go to Jerusalem without an order from the king. What we learn, however, is that Nehemiah's time under Median and Persian rule was not used up in idleness, but rather in prayer and searching of the scriptures. He was looking for the hand of God. Friends, that's what I'm doing. Nehemiah was also ready to build when the time of release came. And that's what we should all be doing. So here's my request. As a church family, I want to encourage you to pray. But let us also be ready to rise and build. Friends, don't lose hold upon God, but rather strengthen your hand so that you can build with us. Don't lose your enthusiasm and engagement in spiritual things. If that starts, call me. I want to talk to you about it. If you are a leader of a department in our church, don't just sit. Plan and strategize as to how God can use your department to build up his kingdom. How can your department better serve is a good question to answer. The pastor must build, but I cannot complete the building of this temple myself. I need you. We need each other. And that's why I'm praying. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward with great anticipation to what God will do as we build together. I can't wait to see you. I know the day is going to come. Hang tight, but please be praying and strengthen your hands so that we can build together.